Another morning waking up behind bars in Miami after a court hearing for the Tate brothers. Caplin News is live. We're also live in D.C. today.
Tariffs is probably the key policy issue for this president.
For a look at the president's Supreme Court strategy. And getting back to 500 isn't the only honor that Marlins earned last night.
Another record, so what else I can say?
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Julian Lascano.
And I'm Palestiniana. Today is Wednesday, July 29th, 2026.
From the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Behind bars, the Tate brothers are here in Miami this morning after a criminal hearing on Monday. The defense team for controversial influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate continues to fight extradition requests from the United Kingdom.
Caplin's Rachel Oquendo is live in downtown Miami, where that hearing was being held. Good morning, Rachel.
That's right, guys. A federal judge claims that the Tate brothers will remain in jail for another 2 weeks until their next hearing, as they continue to face their extradition to the UK. The brothers appeared in court last week and have remained in federal jail since. They did not appear in court this Monday, with unsealed court documents revealing new allegations of rape and sex trafficking with 4 alleged victims. The social media influencers are both heavily known for their controversial views on women, often being deemed misogynistic. Andrew and Tristan Tate both face 59 charges of rape, bodily harm, and trafficking back in the UK. The brothers both deny any wrongdoing, with their attorney requesting more information from the UK and the US regarding these allegations. Their detention hearing is set for August 13th, which will determine whether or not the Tate brothers will remain in jail during the extradition process. Reporting from downtown Miami, I'm Rachel Oquendo for Caplin News.
American Airlines flights, including those coming in and out of South Florida, have resumed after they were grounded for nearly an hour. It was a precaution after what the airline calls a technology glitch. In the statement, American writes, in part, a technology issue briefly impacted connectivity for some of our systems on Tuesday evening. The airline goes on to write, we put a temporary ground stop in place while our teams work to resolve the issue.
One of 2 Hollywood parents accused of claiming their infant never existed is back in South Florida this morning. Alejandro Leon Jr. had his first court appearance in Broward yesterday. His wife, Samantha Feliz, remains in Richmond County, North Carolina, where they were both arrested last Wednesday. Officers with the Hollywood Police Department believe Feliz gave birth a year and a half ago and that the couple is hiding the infant's death.
A restaurant in Key West suspended 6 of his Haitian employees working under TPS. Owner Bobby Kaczynski says he came to work each morning not knowing if he would still have enough staff. On Monday, all of his Haitian workers' jobs permits expired. The Trump administration ended TPS for about 1 million people from more than a dozen countries, including 350,000 Haitians.
It's not uncommon for a doctor to make a house call, but right now Dr. Anthony Fauci is making a Senate call. Let's take a look now at live pictures from the Senate chambers where the man in charge of the country's COVID-19 response is testifying. He was called there by Senator Rand Paul. Dr. Fauci immediately invoked his Fifth Amendment rights, even on an issue where the senator said it wasn't allowed.
That section makes it a crime for a witness appearing under subpoena to refuse to answer any questions pertinent to the question under inquiry. Do you have that in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Let the record record that the witness has refused to answer whether there's a folder in front of him.
Fauci's lawyers say the senator's allegations were baseless. Ahead of Fauci's appearance, the committee released more than 1,000 pages of his personal diary from the COVID-19 years.
The lead Republican Senator Lindsey Graham was honored in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday with several lawmakers and world leaders showing up to the ceremony. Dignitaries such as President Trump, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky were in attendance. First, a special remembrance ceremony was held at the U.S. Capitol. Then his body traveled to the Washington National Cathedral for a funeral service.
The Supreme Court recently wrapped up one of its busiest terms in recent years.
That's right, and someone is in the middle of it all, President Trump. Caplin's Annette Heredia is outside the Supreme Court with more on the president's involvement in this past Supreme Court session. Good morning, Annette.
Good morning, Julian and Paola. Behind me, the Supreme Court decided on numerous high-profile cases that test the priorities of the Supreme Highest Court. And the president's involvement in numerous of these cases pushed the boundaries of his executive power, leaving it to the judges to decide where to draw the line. The most closely watched of those cases came down to birthright citizenship, where the Supreme Court blocked Trump's attempt to limit it in Trump v. Barbara. It was the court's last ruling this term and rejection of the Trump administration's attempt to limit who is a U.S. citizen.
It is very clearly established itself as the final word on the meaning of the Constitution.
But just one day before this decision, the president won in Trump v. Slaughter, expanding in most cases his executive authority over firing independent commissioners without cause. This overturned a 90-year-old precedent and brought into question whether the Supreme Court is serving as a judicial arm of the administration. But there was another big court decision.
Tariffs is probably the key policy issue for this president. I don't think that there are all that many decisions in recent times where a court strikes down such an important policy to a sitting president.
The case she's talking about is Learning Resources v. Trump, where the court said that the president exceeded his executive power in imposing tariffs. Although this decision limited his power, his agenda expanded under Trump v. Myatt, where over 350,000 Haitians lost their temporary protected status following that decision.
Does that mean the court is standing up to him, or does it mean the court is rubber stamping him? And I think somewhere in the middle is the truth.
The president spent this term pushing his executive power. The Supreme Court term starts in October and already has 20 cases lined up. Reporting for Caplin News from Washington, D.C., I'm Dinah Heredia.
Well, it's been a rainy week so far, but it looks like we have a bit of sun to light up our day.
Let's hope so. And Melanie Garcia is here with our weather forecast to see if this clear skies will last through the day. Good morning, Melanie.
Good morning. This morning is shaping up to be quite sunny at Miami International Airport. That temperature is at 90 degrees with that dew point at 73, pushing the feels like into the upper 90s. We do have winds blowing from the southwest at 60 miles per hour, so it is quite gusty out there. Currently, temperature-wise, we're mainly in the upper 80s to lower 90s with Boca Raton at 91 degrees and Pembroke Pines at 89, and then shifting down south to Marathon and Key West at 88 and 89 degrees respectively. Now, this heat has prompted a heat advisory along our East Coast metro area going from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. today, with that heat index going up to 110 degrees. So do make sure to stay hydrated and try to stay in some nice cool shade if you can. In terms of rain, we do have some shower activity. They're moving quite briskly to the northeast due to some southwesterly winds. You could expect some isolated showers more towards the afternoon. To the tropics, no tropical development is expected within the next 7 days. We do have some Saharan dust moving off the coast of Africa into the Atlantic, which is preventing tropical development. We'll continue to monitor as the hurricane season progresses. Boaters, you could expect winds blowing from the southwest at 15 to 20 knots with seas 2 to 3 feet with some moderate chop. And today, that temperature is going to be peaking at 91 degrees with some isolated showers before tonight's cooling down to 80. And then tomorrow, we're going to pick it right back up to 93 with partly cloudy skies. And then going into our 7-day forecast, we're going to be starting off with a dry streak until Saturday, where rain chances jump up to 50% along with Monday and Tuesday with some scattered storms. Heat-wise, today through Friday is going to be our hottest days with the highs going into the low 90s and the heat indexes going to the triple digits. So do remember to stay hydrated. That's all for weather today. Tossing it right back to our anchors.
Well, that was your 7-day forecast with Melanie. Thank you so much. And the ace of the Marlins pitching staff is looking for more than just a win. He's fishing for a 2.
Let's hope so. And that's still ahead, and so is the story.
I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff. I'm going to tell them the truth.
The Miami Dolphins have kicked off their training camp. Nicolette Aspar will tell you everything you need to know when we get to sports from the sideline when Newsbreak comes back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter! Your feelings matter! Your identity matters! Everything about who you are matters!
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Miracle. The Miami Marlins have gotten back on track after their 12-game losing streak. Yes, I said that correctly, 12 games. They won the first 2 games of their home series versus the Philadelphia Phillies. Welcome back to the Sideline, the place where you get the highlights for all your South Florida teams. I'm Nicolette Esper. So going back to this, the Fish can thank the outstanding pitching of Sandy Alcantara for last night's victory as he set the franchise record with 111 quality starts.
Before I start talking, thank you God for blessing me and all the opportunity that He gave it to me. And let me do my job out there today.
Kyle Stowers' homer in the first inning proved to be all the Marlins needed to walk away with the victory as Alcantara pitched a shutout in 7 innings en route to a 1-0 victory. The Marlins will look to get back over 500 as they close out their 3-game series versus the Phillies today at noon in Lone Depot Park. And I guess we can kind of say this is Miami's kind of revenge on Philadelphia after all the LeBron and 76ers drama with the Heat. But we're going on to a bigger focus that the future is the focus this morning after veteran Dolphin players completed their first day of training camp. New quarterback Malik Willis and his teammates arrived at the facility in Miami Gardens yesterday, practice ready. The team posted an arrival video to social media. And new head coach Jeff Hafley says he will soon have to make some tough decisions.
There's going to be some hard conversations with some guys that, we're not going to be able to keep everybody. There's going to be some guys that beat some people out, and I'm going to be honest with them, and not everybody's going to like what I say, and I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff. I'm going to tell them the truth.
The team's first preseason will be August 14th at Washington. Oh boy, am I ready for football season. It's around the corner. But we have NBA season, who all the players are kind of preparing, taking a little rest, preparing for next season. But Miami Heat star Bam Adebayo, not resting. He's actually helping thousands of little boys and girls get ready to head back to the classroom. More than 3,500 children attended the Bam Books Brotherhood event where they met the Heat captain, snapped photos, and scored an autograph in the event. In partnership with the Little Lighthouse Foundation, and encourages literacy while giving kids a chance to meet one of Miami's biggest stars.
As you can see, right here next to Bam, I'm really bad at pictures.
For plenty of young fans, meeting their favorite player was a back-to-school memory they won't forget. Well, that's all the time we have for Sideline, and my last time on this set as I am set to graduate. That's right, I'm graduating just next week, but I cannot be more thankful for Caplin News and all of the people who I've met here and was able to build such an amazing start to my career. I will miss everyone, but always remember, your sports reporter, Nicolette Esper.
graduation, and for the last sideline of the year. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Julian Lascano.
And I'm Para Siriñano. You can get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.